We got ourselves another molt, my Selenocosmia obscura, the Borneo rust molted. Very awesome. There's the molt, and there's the freshly molted spider. Alright, very good. I decided to handle my millipedes here. The bumblebee one is still buried in the substrate somewhere. But these are the giant yellow desert ones and the reddish brown desert ones. Yeah, I only have one of the reddish brown ones now. You don't have to make these as wet as you do some other millipedes. Got a cuttle bone in there for calcium. Got some sticks and leaf litter mixed in with the Eco Earth cocoa fiber. I don't think mites hurt these guys because there's not really enough of that soft tissue that they can dig in and start eating. You know, like what you can find in, you know, on tarantulas or centipedes. You know, centipedes have a little bit of that soft tissue. But the millipedes, it's all pretty much hard tissue. They can't really invade the millipede, so they don't really bother them. These are really cool. Let's see how long it takes for one to poop on me. Now, where are you going? Where are you going? Guys, help me out with this. Some mites are predatorial, right? And some mites don't really do any harm. Am I right about that? From what I have observed, the yellow mites seem to be dangerous to inverts, because those are the ones that I have seen that have killed either a spider or my centipede. But the white ones, I don't know if they do any damage or not. So guys, if you know, please let me know. There were some white ones in here. But I let it dry out, so I think the mites were dying too. Since they like it wet. The mites do. So if you guys happen to know which ones are dangerous to your inverts, I appreciate it. The yellow ones definitely seem to be. But let me know if you know anything about the white ones. Well, just giving you an update on these guys. They're doing fine. Alright. If you want a very slow growing spider, that's easy to care for, then I suggest you get the Aphonopelma chalcodes, the desert or Arizona blonde. I tell you what, I have had this one a long time, and it's still only this small. I got this one when it was only a ½ an inch, I think. And now it's like 2 inches. I think I got this one back in 2012, I think. Yeah, very slow growing. And it doesn't help the growth rate when they don't eat much either. And this is a species that doesn't always eat that well. They tend to fast like the Grammostola porteries do. But of course there's always exceptions. Sometimes you might get lucky enough to get a hungry beast. But not this one. But this one's very sweet. I do enjoy. I don't feature this one much in my feeding videos because, well, this one just doesn't eat much. Yeah. Very sweet though. Alright, just giving you a little update on this cutie. Already has a pretty big bottom anyway, huh? Yeah. Already looks healthy. Never ate its cricket. Had to take it out. Alright, I'll move on to something else. Well, she finally died. I saw it coming. The second tarantula I got out of all of these. After my portery, I decided to get a little brave or stupid, however you want to call it, and got the OBT as my second spider. And she indeed died, likely of old age. Ever since she molted last, she had significantly slowed down in her personality and feeding response and all that, so I knew it was coming. Yeah. So say goodbye, those of you who have watched my channel for several years. She has, in many cases, thrown up threat postures for you. But yeah, it's sad though, because you know, she was one, you know, my second one. So it's sad to see her go. But she was fun to have, even with her meanness. Alright guys, we'll have to bury her. Say goodbye. Alright. Well, on a much more happier note, my Poecilotheria regalis, the smaller of the two, molted. I thought it looked like it was in pre-molt, and which is why it wasn't featured in my feeding video. Well, plus this one doesn't tend to eat on camera anyway. But I had noticed when I was doing my feedings that this one looked like it was in pre-molt, so I didn't even leave any food in there. And there you go. Awesome. Alright, we'll give this one a drink. Well, we got ourselves another molt. Poecilotheria ornata molted. What a beauty. Very good. Hope I get a good molt out of this one. I seem to be having some bad luck lately. Alright. And here's the other side view of the spider. There's the molt. Very nice. Alright. Very good. Well, folks, got some bad news. My Acanthoscurria chacoana died. This one is especially heartbreaking, just like the OBT, because, well, this one's even more heartbreaking in a way because this one should have lived longer under normal circumstances, but because it had a bad molt, I just couldn't keep it alive despite keeping it hydrated and, you know, putting food right in front of it. And so yeah, and she survived when I was sick in the hospital and there was no one able to feed or take care of my spiders when I was deathly ill, and she survived it, not having food and water for several weeks, and that was a few years ago. So sadly she's gone. Just for education purposes, A way you could tell a spider is dead is you see how these legs here are totally curled under. It's called the death curl. The spider had no strength to hold itself up with its legs, so it curls under when they're weak or dying or dead. And another obvious sign is you see the abdomen right here. It's shriveled and kind of sunken in like that. That's another way you can tell that they're dead, because you know their heart pump is right through here, and as long as obviously the blood is circulating, the abdomen is full, you know, full looking. But once the blood stops pumping, it, you know, sinks in like that, you know, and then it starts, you know, it's decomposing right now. It must have died, you know, despite having the shrunk and sunken in abdomen. There's no smell yet, but I'm pretty sure tomorrow we'll start smelling it. But yeah, this is very sad. I was really hoping I could have kept her alive, but to no avail. That is a huge loss to me, and you know, I really did love her. She had a spunky feeding response. I mean, the OBT death was sad too, because I'd had that one a long time, but I saw that one coming because she was old. You know, I wasn't too surprised when, you know, she died, but this one here really hurt because she should have lived longer. It's one of those things where, you know, bad molt, it's just, sometimes it's going to kill your tea, sadly. So, yeah, I've had this one quite a while. So this is especially heartbreaking. Alright guys, we'll move on to something else, hopefully something better. Well, my mature male huntsman spider, the David Bowie, died. And in a way, it was better that way, because this spider was severely handicapped after its molt. And I mean, it could move around, but not like it ought. And so it's really better this way. He was a mature male, so he wouldn't have too much longer to live anyway, but because they grow so fast. But yeah, he died. He lived longer than I thought he would, but yeah, he's gone. This is turning out to be a pretty depressing video, isn't it? Hopefully we'll have some good stuff to report. Alright, say goodbye. Well, here's some good news. We have a successful molt from my Chromatopelma cyanopubescens. As you can see, still has a lot of the juvenile coloring to the spider. The abdomen pattern is still there, and the carapace is not green yet, although it's starting to transition. But the legs will look a little bit bluer than last time once it hardens up more. So we'll get that molt out, and hopefully we'll get something good out of it. And we'll give this one a drink. Alright, finally some good news. Well, time to do some more rehousings. Today I'm going to do the Chilobrachys fimbriatus, the Indian violet. And this is a nice deep enclosure for its size, so it can do lots of burrowing, and it's kind of neat to put like creepy looking stuff in there. Since they do a lot of webbing, I think that'll look extra cool for have scary things in there with it, and that way it can web it and look haunted. It's really cool. A water dish there, and I'm not going to put a hide in there because it will make its own hide with all the webbing and the holes it'll make. And there'll be more room to do so in this enclosure. So let's go ahead and transfer this one over now. Alright, let's hope this goes peacefully with the Chilobrachys. It usually doesn't go peacefully because they are extremely fast and quite defensive too. And they're old world. So this is a boy. Let's see if I can do this. A juvenile. I'm a little less nervous of dealing with juveniles or younger because, yes, they can bite, but at this size, they're more likely to run. But if you're going to get one that's not going to run, that will bite, it will be an old world more likely. So there we go. There he goes. Alright. Come on. Cut it out. Excuse me a minute. See, that's why it's really good to have catch cups ready. Here we go. Sorry you couldn't see that. But the spider didn't leave me much choice. It just goes to show, like I said, Chilobrachys do not go peacefully. Now if it was a larger one, I would have used a lot more precaution because they definitely would have been more willing to stand their ground and bite. But as you saw, well, partially saw, juveniles are more willing to run. But still, don't let your guard down totally because they can bite and it would still hurt. Alright, well, that was not too bad. I've had worse, but still could have been a lot easier. Alright, let's move on to something else. Alright, next up, we're going to rehouse my Triniopelma sazame. This one likes to do a lot of digging, very similarly to the Acimani. So I kind of have a setup like that, except this one I don't think really cares for a hide. I had a hide in there, but it had completely filled up the hide and never used it. So I'm not going to put a hide in there. I'm just going to give it plenty of room to bulldoze and all that kind of fun stuff. And I got to put a water dish in there, and that'll be good enough. For this one, got plenty of burrowing here it could do. This is a new world, so I'm not as nervous about transferring this one. However, for a new world, the P. sazame is actually quite fast. So hopefully this one will be uneventful, definitely compared to the last one. Alright, let's go ahead with the transfer. Alright, let's go on with the transfer here. Get that water dish out. This one's still in good condition, so I will just reuse it. Stick it right there. And add a little water there. Alright, I'll go ahead and nudge the spider in here with the paintbrush. And try not to get all the substrate collapsing on it. Yeah, of course, naturally wants to go back into where it's familiar. Come on. Come on. Don't make me use my hand. Okay, come on. I tell you, oh, we're going to have an avalanche. Alright. If he bites me, it's my fault. Okay. You enjoy your new home. Alright. Alright, this one's going to be a little more tricky because it's an arboreal. And those guys are really fast. It's a new world though. This is the Salmopoeus chemergi, the Trinidad chevron. I'm going to transfer this one into this enclosure here. It's got a wooden cave it could burrow in back through there if it wants to hide. You know, they can be secretive sometimes. Or you got this part here where they could be arboreal, just some little decor in their water dish. Not that much substrate because they don't really need it. But there's the little cave if it wants to be secretive. But that should be good. Alright, so let's move on with the transfer. Alright, I'll try this. She's actually biting the paintbrush. Yep, she attacked that paintbrush big time. She has a voracious appetite, which is why I wouldn't handle this one. But it went pretty well, actually. Better than I thought it would. So you enjoy your new home, sweetheart. Alright, I'll let her get used to her new home.